I'm Bill from Generation 3 Electric, and today I'm going to change out some old switches.
Okay.
These are some old probably about 1920s, 1930s push button original switches. We're going to replace them. They're getting a little old and shaky. First, you got to take off the old cover. The cover is a plastic cover. It was probably replaced in the 1960s. That's when these were popular. When doing these old switches, the best is to do one at a time and make sure it works. We're doing this live, so the lights are actually on. It's easier for me as an electrician to do this live. I can see the problems right away. If the homeowner tries this, they probably should turn the power off. I take the yoke screws off. I take the screws that go to the switch there. You can see it sparking.
I certainly do.
It's very exciting, a little sparking there. I just take them completely out. And that will release the switch. Pull the wires off. These old switches are huge, so there's not much room in the box. You see how big they are.
Wow, look at that.
That's the old push button thingy. And here goes the new one.
Oh my goodness.
That's what's going to replace it. And you can hear it just kind of, the mechanical is just getting old inside. Now, the two wires that are on the same side, we normally go on the gold, and the one that comes to the other side will go on the black. They're usually directional.
Look at that. Look at those wires.
They are old.
They're not even, you can't even see the color of the cloth anymore.
There is no color of the cloth on these old wires.
Then the red and green ones upstairs were actually
They were probably replaced.
newer?
They were newer than
Than
this,
this?
yes.
Wow.
These are actually called knob and tube wires.
Okay.
And they have not been used since the 50s, 40s. Actually, probably 1930s. I'm sorry. That's when they started getting rid of this type of wire. Oops.
Now I'm trying to hold this still, but every now and then it flickers out of focus. Is
Yeah.
that all right?
That's fine. It's hard to film these little things. You want to put the screw in the same direction as the screw head turns.
Right.
So this way when you're screwing it, it tightens
You tighten it up
the wire up.
and it
Make
takes the end with it
That's right.
rather than against it.
And usually do two on one side and you do the other. There we go. Now these wires aren't grounded, so there's this ground screw on here that's just not going to be used.
It's okay that they're not grounded?
The old systems before the 1950s, nothing was grounded. This,
But it doesn't present a modern day hazard that they're not.
not so much in lighting.
Okay.
In receptacles it does.
Okay.
Your lights aren't typically using the ground so much. There are some minor problems, but they're not tragic. And then it goes back in place. We got one more, we can repeat the process.
And you're using the center hole rather than the two wings.
These are called plaster ears.
Okay.
The two wings out here.
Yes.
And in the old times, they would just plaster the walls, and this would hold the thing in shape.
Huh.
Now it's what holds it flat to the wall, is these ears that stretch out. And occasionally, some boxes, you need to cut them out, so they're snitched.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were bringing an old work box, something that had something that would bump out, you don't want to double that up. Now we're gonna move on to the exciting one, which is this floor. Same process again.
The exciting one. Actually, the second floor one is more exciting because it's got a sister switch up the staircase. This is simple here.
This is one up the staircase.
Oh, that's true. That's right, on the second floor.
This one will turn off the lights while I do it. Let's see.
The reason being,
Because if the light, this is controlling the light.
oh, current running through.
Yeah, this one is maybe the light, maybe not. What do you think?
I think it would.
This
be-
one is the light. Took down the light will go off. And you can see it's sparking. There it goes.
There you go.
Take these three out. Grab the hot one with the little pliers.
Jeez, look at that.
This one was actually replaced at one time.
Is that? Yeah, it looks different than the other.
It's different. The other one was porcelain. This one here is it looks like Bakelite. And you take the plastic off, you can see actually how it worked. I'll put the light on for you.
Oh gosh, that would be.
There we go. I'm putting the light on up there. And this switches, snaps, two things here snap.
Oh, look at that.
And they make contacts.
Mm-hmm.
There we
So
go.
that just pulls them apart and pushes them together.
It switches the direction from here to here, from here to here. Alright, the next one goes in the same way. Did I forget where the wires go? Oh no. Oh, here we go. This one here. This one here is actually the feed. It goes from here, from this switch to this switch. So it's not broken. So it jumps from one switch to the other.
And you want it to do that.
They're both fed off the same circuit, so
Ah,
The
I
circuit-
see. So you have to do that, or it won't even work.
the other one won't work. That's right. You are a great cameraman. There we go. I want to put this one on so I can turn it up to get the other one. If I did the other order, the wires would be too short.
Oh,
Now I can turn it this way and catch the other one.
gotcha.
And that's the trick. The old timers didn't use much wire because I think the switches were so big.
Yeah, they probably.
They used
the
just
space
enough.
was at a premium. And they probably weren't, well, they weren't thinking about 100 years later.
Well, the barn's about 100 years old.
Yeah, this house was built in 1875 or 76, we're not sure which. But that makes it 130 years old, so.
It's before electricity. It would have gas lights originally. And like in the other one, we don't need the ground because there just isn't one.
And that wiring, even though it's covered with that cloth, is relatively safe. That's, you know,
Electricity-
even today.
Electricity is relatively safe. As a lighting circuit, it's really not that huge of a problem. The problems occur more on the outlets because we're plugging things in that weren't designed for this.
Right.
We're not changing the lights here, so that's pretty fine. A lot of insurance companies, houses that have predominant knob and tube, are having problems getting insured now. Eventually, it is a good idea to have these things updated, but it's not always practical.
Yeah. And it can get expensive.
That last plate there, Bruce.
Oh, we're even gonna get a new plate, all right.
We're going to pretty this up. Now, I know some people out there actually like the old retro look of those old switches, there are still specialty places where you can order them.
Wow.
And they make some of them are actually dimmers now.
I heard that.
So you can actually turn the knob and it brightens and dims the light. But it's still a good idea to replace them every. We like to replace the switches in the house every about 20 to 30 years
Okay.
because they just get old and break. It's not worth the problems.
Well, I've been here for 30 years. If you want to go through the house and do them all.
Keeping things up to date just keeps things working easy.
Well, these houses too, granted this is a stone foundation, brick house, but it's got the mansard roof. There's a lot of timber in this house. So if you had a fire
Here we go.
with 100-year-old timber,
That's it.
okay, shut your little